Hello there. What's up, chat? We got 20 people in here. Thanks for coming in. See if I can enlarge that a bit. Fit the screen. Ooh, that's not good. I don't want that. Like the VHS tape in the back, though? Like that? Here, I'll shrink myself down here. Whoa. There we go. I don't want myself that small. Boom. There we go. There we go. What is going on, everyone? Thanks for being here. This is Resident Evil Apocalypse. Apocalypse. We're going back to 2004. And this is, it's actually the DVD copy that I'm watching, just for old time's sake. And this one is part of the double pack. It has the slipcover. And when you open it, it's got, you can buy Resident Evil 4 right now. Right now. Because by the time this came out on DVD, it was out, Resident Evil 4, because this came out in the fall of 2004. I remember seeing this in the theater, and I was so excited because I was finally able to see something of Resident Evil 3 on the big screen. And this is the closest, I guess, we ever got to having something that is, you know, even though it's not a Jill Valentine story, it's an Alice story. So Jill kind of gets, you know, one-upped a little bit, which sucks because Sienna is great as Jill Valentine in this. But they just didn't really, you know, write her well. Now, Paul Anderson wrote the script, but he did not direct this. A lot of people get that kind of confused. They think he directed everything, but he didn't. He was doing Alien versus Predator. So if you guys know that movie, which I don't I don't think is holds up as good as something like, I don't know. It's just it's a good movie if you're just trying to like have fun with it, but it's not. I don't know. Like I like Freddy vs. Jason over Alien vs. Predator, but maybe that's like a thing I shouldn't say because people be like, "What?" But Freddy vs. Jason isn't perfect either. I mean, it has problems, but Alexander Witt. So directed by Alexander Witt, and this is a this is essentially like a Alice story picking up right from the first film, and it has an RE3 backdrop because you have Nemesis and Matt, who got hit in the final scene of the boss battle. There, he gets sliced by the liquor in his arm, but it's the super big boy. So of course, it's a special mutation. They take him into the Nemesis program, and of course, Nemesis is Matt, which isn't in Resident Evil 3. But I will say this. I think the Nemesis suit is very well done. I think the some of the effects here are still pretty cool. It does have that early to mid 2000s like feel and color correction and soundtrack. The soundtrack's awesome. This is how I found out about Killswitch Engage, because they were playing at the end of this film. And this was back when, and Vermilion from Slipknot, Vermilion Part 2 was in this film. Or it might have been Part 1. It might have been a remix or something. Because Slipknot was in the last soundtrack. So this was just like a pretty cool snapshot in time. And this is my favorite live action RE. And it's not a perfect film. It does have flaws, but I still kind of like it as a B movie, if that makes sense. Like, just, I don't know. It's one of those things that I think a lot of people will look back on it and be like, okay, I kind of can get with that time period. You know what I mean? Even if you didn't see it growing up. We got a lot of people in the chat, though. So while I'm rambling, we got King Shadow. We got Leon YouTube. Thank you for being here. We got all the members here. Jin. Yuri says he watched this series when he was a kid. Patriots here. James thinks Apocalypse is the best. What's up, MILF Man? Brandon, what's up? Fellow member. Let me make sure I'm catching up here. Crisis, what's up? Dragon Ball, what's going on? This is still the best live action. Yeah, unfortunately. It's the closest influence to a game story. Yeah, it gets close there, man. I mean, it's not, of course they had to set up Alice in a certain way. So I expected them to kind of be in that, like, okay, we're gonna build up Alice and she has these, these superpowers. The alternate ending for the first one, and I know not a lot of people talk about that, where it's like the clones and it's very Matrixy. It was very weird to see if it actually ended in that note, and then where would Apocalypse start from? Would it have just started from the middle of the SWAT team getting obliterated? Like, where would that come in? So it was very, very different. First AVP was good. Yeah, it was decent. Apocalypse has some good moments. It does raise peace. Cam May with the banger with the $49.99 says, "Hey Aunt, we'll miss you on a trip. Miss you on your trip, brother. I look forward to visiting you and Perry this winter if possible. Stay safe, brother." Hell yeah, man. Take care. Thank you so much for that super chat. Appreciate that, buddy. And I will be I'll be in the UK, literally going to the UK like a week from now, a week from today. So I'm really looking forward to it. And man, I really appreciate the support. And I'll make sure that there will be content when I leave as well that I'll kind of schedule out, kind of like what I did before. So there's something coming out. We got Jeff M in here. Thank you to all the members being here too. All the green names and emojis that you have. Flex those emojis. We need the Jill emojis in here too. And we got 30 people in here and only 14 likes. What is that? Smash the like button. The bomb's in here too. But when I'm going to be doing the commentary, I will be paying attention to the film. So I will, shout out stuff towards the end if I need to. Just because I'm trying to also, record these and put them up for audio. And I want to be able to also talk a little bit about the film again, because these are always interesting to discuss. So I make sure all this stuff is muted because, again, the way this works is I can't show the movie. I'm not showing the movie. You're just going to see me and hear me. But if you own the film, if you have a digital copy, if you have the DVD or the Blu-ray, you can actually tag along. And I'm going to fire this up here. DVD style. You probably see it in the reflection of my glasses. All right, all that's good to go. Okay, so I'm gonna click. Yeah, we're watching this. You know it's old when it's like full screen or widescreen. So I'm gonna pause it at a timestamp. So this film, this is all the warning logos and stuff. So I'm not gonna pause it now. Wow, that looks really bad. Green text on black background. What were they thinking? Okay. So the Screen Gems logo is playing right now, but I'm going to pause it when it's complete. Boom. So right when it says Screen Gems, a Sony Pictures Entertainment Company in the beginning. So my DVD copy is 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 23 seconds. So these movies aren't that long, which is great. But also, if you're trying to time it up, I am on 12 seconds right now. And this is also for people that are watching in the archive, so you can also sync it up. Thank you guys for showing the emoji love. Leon's got it on his TV. All right, cool. Yeah, so I'm paused at Screen Gems, Sony Pictures Entertainment Company as soon as it completes, because it says Screen Gems at first, then it says a Sony Picture Entertainment Company. Goes right on there. I'm paused on that. And I'm going to full screen. That's not a reflection of your glasses. It's the predictive combat software. Oh, no. We're not there yet, but that's going to happen. I can predict any of the combat software, no matter what. Let me see if I have... Thank you again, CamMA, for that super chat, man. Really appreciate that. And, all right, we're ready to go, guys. So I'm going to start it when I count down to 1. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, go. And I am paused at 12 seconds. Screen Gems, a Sony Pictures Entertainment Company. In 3, 2, 1, go. And just faded out. Davis Impact Films Canada. Constantine Films. Let's kind of throw out little things here and there. Screen Gems. Davis Films again. The umbrella logo is flipping. And then her eyes are opening. And this is where my name is Alice. This is it. This is when she would always have these little intros. Everybody died. And now the transition between the first film and this one is pretty cool because we already saw the ending of the first film where she goes to the city and everybody's dead. So now this kind of fills in the gaps. And I have a land shark here because it's time to just have a little drink. I want him in the Nemesis program. This is Land Shark. It's the summer beer. And you're about to find out and get completely wrecked. We were wrong. I just remember being so excited for this, man, because it was just Nemesis. I wanted to see Nemesis and Jill, of course. And Raccoon News Report. And while this is happening, you know, they're all still underground, essentially just getting attacked. The virus has already been exposed, and now we're seeing it from this perspective, which is pretty cool. Again, I like the fact that the first film does kind of focus on the hive and it is more isolated. And now, when they go to the entrance, I want to know what went on down there. Well, guess what? All those zombies that have been just sitting there the whole time, they're still there. And again, the way this connects is pretty cool. I don't know why they didn't expect, like, you know, more company, but it's like, sir, we're not prepared. You got the dogs, too. And it's time to grab the people that Umbrella wants to grab. Ravensgate Bridge, main entrance to Raccoon City. What if they just hit the newspaper kid? Oh, shit. I just love this dude because not this chick, but holy shit, Cam MMA, thank you so much, buddy. $20 super chat. Cheers, brother. Cheers. Thank you so much. Charles Ashford. It's like that's convincing. I have to get my daughter. Everyone looks at you like, oh, man. She's like, heh, you're all going to get wrecked. And I'm getting saved because I'm important. I know. It was a goddamn door. I know, Brandon. It's such a bummer. This is before it got crazy, you know, because even this movie is over the top action, but and bam, they got fucking hit. And I like the fact that yeah, like the whole separation thing, it really it kind of just has that whole like, all right, we're gonna have to search for this, you know, this guy's daughter, and that's the motivation for him to help them. But I don't know. I just wish it did a little bit more with this character. He kind of just felt flat, the Ashford character. And here is our girl, Jill, which I remember seeing this in the theater. I'll never forget this, man. I was like, we're here. This is Jill on the big screen. And it's still just as glorious all these years later. This film turns 20 next year. God damn it. Here we go. We got the miniskirt and everything. And she comes in and just completely wrecks it. But again, she only gets moments like this right here before Alice shows up. Valentine. Here's LJ, which is a great character. Yeah, so it shows that how many hours later and how much shit is going wrong. This dude's also a pretty lame villain. I'm not going to lie. You know, obviously, like Dr. Isaacs is, you know, that's a little bit more, I guess, expanded on, where this guy just kind of comes out of nowhere. And he's like, I'm in charge. And there's Mike Epps. Yeah, that was Mike Epps back there as LJ. I forget the actor who plays our villain dude here. What's up, Liquor Sandwich? Mila's pulling off the needles and all this stuff, and this is what we saw at the end of the first one. This time we're just seeing it from a little bit different perspective. And it is Major Timothy Kane. So memorable that I forgot his name. Played by Thomas Ketchman. He's not a terrible actor, but he didn't really get a lot to work with here. The Dead Walk, which I love, which is right out of Day of the Dead. And we got Quentin with the 17-month membership, man. Thank you so much for that fucking support. He says, what's up? I remember the church scene made the whole crowd in the theater jump back in the day. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of jump scares for sure. I remember that being pretty terrifying, even when I was a kid, you know? Because it was loud, you know, and... And this is the whole gate scene where they close it off. Umbrella being the assholes that they are, and our boy Major Timothy Kane. As Angela makes her way to the school on her own at this point. Everything's going to shit, and now we have Nikolai, good guy Nikolai, and Carlos. And Oded Fair did a really good job with this Carlos, even though, again, he's kind of portrayed differently. And this is her getting swarmed by zombies. Just give him your wrist. But I always thought this was cool. The way Carlos makes the entrance. It's just so funny, man. Oded was at a Monster Mania that I worked at, only there for a day, and he was to the left of me, but I didn't get a chance to say hello because I was working with someone else next to him, so I wasn't able to like say what's up. He was only there for a certain amount of time, but he was really nice to all the fans, like super nice. I was like, fuck, if only I brought my Apocalypse DVD, but I didn't have time. And here we go, Carlos snapping on the zip line. And this would hurt. Like, ow. Landing on that with the helicopter. I love this kick right here. It's breaks his jaw. The not so UBCS. And dead. And things are going to shit. Major Kane, that's Thomas. Yeah, Thomas Kretschmann. Remember Johnson, the actor playing Timothy, whatever, talks like he's got shit in his mouth. Yeah, he's just he's not very convincing in this film. But yeah, the camera work in this, they have a lot of shots too where it's like blurry and motion blur and everything. Very different style choice. Yeah, Oded's awesome, man. He's really cool. LJ, yeah, I loved LJ in the next two films. Peyton's cool too, man, but they just didn't like keep him around long enough. I wish they kept around more S.T.A.R.S members because, you know, we see the cowboys and shit like that later, or like one cowboy and like the other people that get obliterated in that one little section, but we didn't have any other like standout stars besides Jill. And then Jill kind of gets upstaged by Alice the whole time. Once she comes through the church, it's like Alice. It turns to, you know, the Alice movies. Right now, we still get, you know, the best part of Apocalypse, I think, is right now. You know, like everything we've seen up until this point. Seeing Jill, seeing Peyton. Now you got the news reporter, and you got Mr. Kane telling people that you aren't getting out of here alive. Well, basically. He's not saying that directly, but he's a dick. Yeah, so everybody is pissed, as they would be. They said, we're not getting the infection out, and now they're starting to shoot. Yeah, I love the Raven Gate Church crisis for sure. Yeah, and the liquor POV, really cool. Yeah, get me a room, get me some room service, and rent me a porno. Fucking LJ, man. I love LJ in Extinction. Again, I wish he had a longer role in Extinction, but I know why he didn't, because obviously Carlos met his end in Extinction, so it's kind of like at that point. And look at this. So you got the zombies walking in the alley with weird slow camera effects. But this is cool. This is the shit that you want to see right here. You just want to see them wrecking zombies. The cop cars coming in. Because at this point, there's still some people left. Not many. Just RE3, man. And this is the closest we ever got. Love the grenade. I'm not leaving without my daughter. I'm sorry, Ashford, but you suck as a character, and so do I. There's nothing we can do. I'm staying. Then he ends up getting got when they find out he's helping Alice and squad navigate through the city. No problem, Kular. Yeah, this definitely pulls the most from the games, like we were saying earlier. Doesn't do it all well and correctly, but it does it. And this is him hacking into Ashford level 6 hacking. Not the Sony computers. Not the Vio. Not the Sony computers. The product placement. Got a whole ass camera system. Looking for her. Without Alice and only Jill and Carlos. Yeah, I mean, it would be a Jill escape story. Yeah. There were shitty laptops, but there were laptops in the early 2000s. Absolutely. And here's Alice with the shoddy. So all that was about almost 20 minutes of no Alice, really, which is pretty cool. Just to see everything kind of get set up, and they set up where Raccoon City is now, you know? And Alice is feeling the effects of the virus now. What happened to Alice? We don't know. Just do it. Sorry, I got a Mugen behind me. Yep, it just goes right back to Alice. And that's what we said in our review of Apocalypse. It just goes back and forth way too much to Alice. Well, not even back and forth. Like at this point, the pendulum just kind of swings towards Alice, especially once the church. Which this is a great scene though. This right here, one of my favorites in this. The extended cut of this on 4K is something that's interesting. Because I love seeing that extended stuff. You know, I got that in the 4K set that's back there in the box. And the extended scenes are awesome. Like, this whole thing is extended in that cut. Put the gun down. Damn, dude, Sienna's just fucking slaying it as Jill. Absolutely gorgeous. Jill smokes ciggies, which I don't really care. I mean, they just kind of added it. But so did Chris, so fuck it, right? Jin, thank you so much for being a member for 20 months. My favorite scene in the movie. It just screams Resident Evil for me. Yeah, this church scene is great. I don't know, Mabam. You know, I think the outfit changes and stuff, again, it's just like whoever's in charge of wardrobe. Like, even like Jill, I could say, all right, she has like brown, blackish hair. It's more black, but her boots aren't brown. I think they're black boots. That might be brown. I think they're black boots. So like, there's little things that or there might be brown boots. I forget. They still gave her boots though. And then like UBCS kind of just had a certain aesthetic. This is also an extended scene, which they cut down. I mean, I like what they did with the theatrical cut. My sister's not well. Nah, Mr. Check Yourself, they definitely don't exist in this universe, unfortunately. Bites his ass. Unfortunately, Leon, Claire, and Ada and Hunk, all that was not in this universe. They just kind of bring Leon and Ada in later, and they never mention Raccoon City at all. And you're getting trapped, and you don't even know it. And this was in the trailers and commercials too. Elvis. The height of Matrix fever, yeah. Just like the action cliche and tropes, you know what I mean, from this time. A lot of movies copied. They all feel a certain way. Yeah, they made Jill more of like, yeah, badass and up front. But I still think she's badass in the actual game, but I know what you mean. Like she's, you know, a little bit more emotional and there you go. He just got. In this she's more like she's just as badass in the game, but she's more like she's more ramped up, I guess, as like, all right, I'm just gonna go in, we're not gonna talk. Yeah, there you go, black boots. I'm just gonna go in and do what I gotta do. And who the fuck are you? What's going on? That kind of attitude. So that reasoning is not there. So she's just off the hinge a little bit. But I kind of like that. Just seeing it in a different way. Again, all this is great. This right here, like these first like 25, 30 minutes of this film, seeing Jill have her time, have her screen time, walking around, getting stalked by the liquor, stuff like that, which is really cool, by the way, because she didn't have to deal with liquors in Resident Evil 3. So this is cool to see. And he's got. Yeah, definitely was crushing on Jill as a kid for sure. No doubt. What made you want to watch this movie again? Honestly, it's kind of behind. It's inspired by a lot of things, and it's kind of just more like, all right, well, I wanted to have stuff to talk about and review and discuss on the Summer of RE, which is like my summer series of content, and I want to bring back the reviews because the first and second film were properly reviewed on the podcast in a structured format, and I want to do the rest of them. So I wanted to kind of do these commentaries in a live way instead of a pre-recorded like before, and to kind of rewatch them as well. And her and Peyton don't fuck around. Again, all this is good. Once Alice breaks through the window, it's when the pendulum swings a different way, ladies and gentlemen. And it's time. Motorbike through the glass. Yeah, the slow-mo shot. Right into the liquor. Move. Here we go. Bike into the liquor and shoots with the umbrella bullets into the canister to blow it up. And that's Alice with her entrance. And it's back to being an Alice movie for the rest of the film. So all that Jill time and all that great stuff set up was great. That's 27 minutes in. We're 28 minutes about now. Well, we're 27:42 as of now. So after all this, it kind of gets away from being RE3 minus Nemesis. The blood on the boots, disrespect. And again, more upfront Jill. And this is LJ being awesome. GTA motherfucker. For Extinction Onward, will you put your watch along on streaming services? Yes. Yeah, I'll do the audio will be uploaded on there. And he sees the zombie titties and crashes into the car like an idiot. What do you mean legacy sequel crisis? Alice was like, Jill, you thought the story was going to be about you? They really set us up. Yeah. And, you know, it goes back to these guys, obviously, still fighting. Yuri gets, you know, completely wrecked. If anything, Carlos has a little bit more than Jill in this because he ends up being kind of like the love interest for Alice in a way. So they kind of gave Carlos a little bit more of a shot in these films rather than Jill, because Jill was completely absent in Extinction because, you know, Sienna was pregnant and wasn't acting at that time, and they didn't write her in, and they kind of just didn't explain her departure from the group that much. So Carlos did end up getting more of the time, you know. Same here with Sleeper. And this Jill smokes too. Yeah, I don't mind that though. Those little differences don't really bother me. Alice stole the show for the rest of the franchise, because then, like, even when we got Claire in the next film, and then we got, you know, Chris in Afterlife, and you got Leon later down the road, Jill came back, Barry, like, they never really held weight. They just kind of felt like, you know, the cosplayers coming in with a shitty script. And this is pretty cool. Zoom into the helmet, like from RE3, except not as close up. Them going through a cemetery, which is very fitting. But also, why would you cut through the cemetery? But I know it's the only way, but come on. What's up, Ty? If you guys are just coming in here, smash that like button. I really appreciate that. It's weird how On This Film was the most downloaded trailer back then. That's crazy. That is pretty crazy. She's smoking hot. Can I get a hell yeah? No. Hell yeah. Jill's like, I will take care of my own comrades. She's a bitch. But she's being real. Yeah, the motivation for Umbrella in this was, it's just they didn't have like these main villains that kind of went back to the origins of Umbrella. They just kind of pieced stuff together. I just love this. Just all close combat, snapping necks and taking names. So right now in the movie, we are at 32 minutes and 43 seconds. They're in the cemetery, smacking, breaking tombstones. If anybody's joining. Back kick right to the head. Where the hell? I have two questions. Where the fuck is Horror Fan for Life? Where's Natalia? Where are these people that mark out for Apocalypse? They aren't here. What the hell? A shout out to them. Cheers. To the people that like the live action movies. Like I said, the first three, that's kind of the sweet spot. But even by the time it gets to Extinction, it gets a little whacked out. But even this movie isn't perfect. And here's Nemesis, though, so this is the next thing that kind of goes to Resident Evil 3. We are at 33 minutes and 49 seconds, and Nemesis is on the table, ready to wake up, controlled by Mr. Kane over here. A legacy sequel, I mean something like they did with Scream franchise. Oh, like coming back to this? Yeah, no, they're not going to do that. Yeah, Sienna was on fire in this. Let's get Yuri, even though he's already on death's doorstep. Nemesis as a good guy was hilarious. Yeah. Because it's Matt. And here's weapon cases for Nemi. And Nikolai is a good guy. Which, if you guys don't know who this kid is, if you remember the bully in A Christmas Story, that's who this dude is. The kid that Ralphie punched in the face. Yeah, that's Nikolai in this movie. I don't know if people know that. How much would someone have to donate for you to do a Netflix watching? I don't know. That's rough. That's a rough one. I'd have to get through all of them and Welcome to Raccoon City to even consider that, but even that's a stretch. We need evacuation. He didn't say that yet, but he's about to. This is when they realize that they are stranded and left for dead. One second. And here we go. We got Cowboy. Plenty to go around. Yeah, when Jill was on screen for this, they made her look good, and like I said, it's all good until Alice comes back in. This guy just listening to metal. Don't shoot. The different voice actors. That's something that could do that, but I think there's a lot more rankings I'd probably want to do first. I love this. Shit. Motherfucker, please. My shit's custom. Hell yeah. And here we go. And this is when the team gets wrecked. Nemesis doesn't have a Gatling gun in the games, but this is when this became a thing with him. He eventually did in Operation Raccoon City, but that's because of this movie. Got the rocket launcher. R.I.P. Cowboy. Cowboy looked like Ashton Kutcher. Yeah, this Nemesis theme song is pretty dope. I do think some of the score in this is pretty cool. Even in the first one. The mofo got a rocket launcher. They're the best. And we're 38-43 in, and Nemi's about to get his kill on with the Gaddy gun. Oh, man. Just covering his ears while everyone's getting wrecked. You know that nobody would actually survive that, but... And that's the 1 stars that we get. But pretty damn cool. Respect. The S.T.A.R.S cosplayers are done. Maybe it's because you're from a clone from the beginning, but they don't tell you that until the final chapter. This is Ashford trying to get them on a payphone. When was the last time you guys used a payphone? Not if you want to live beyond tonight, no. Yep, that's exactly what happened, Crisis. And then they ran with the Matt stuff. And this is when they find out they are screwed. They'll cover it up. That's awesome. For the 2010s. Yeah, payphones became extinct once cell phones kind of took over completely. Yeah, they definitely made Jill go through that experience for sure, because she was definitely prepared. Peyton getting wrecked. And now it's Alice versus Nemesis, and it's not so much Jill versus Nemesis, which is what it should be. But we'll take what we can get. Oh, who would I choose to do a screenplay and directing? I don't know, man. I'm not sure. But the Nemesis program's fully activated, so now we are seeing the showdown here. That's a good question, though, man. I'm not sure. Guy was a little small, but yeah, it didn't look bad. Yeah, the practical stuff did look good. The way they shot it, it still kind of made him look a little more intimidating. And rocket time, but jump all over the fence. No Michael Bay, please no. I know you're kidding. And Alice jumped from, which she's on cables there, clearly. I just love that. And then he crushes the car. Pretty cool chase scene. I just love that he goes through the walls. Pretty cool. And we see him go through the apartment walls in Remake 3, so it's pretty cool. To see him just kind of go through walls here. Ow. I love this, though. Like, really? Like, that container would not keep you safe from that rocket. There's no way, but movie magic, I guess. Yeah, they never did a Code Veronica type movie. They probably never will, unfortunately. Ow. This is Jill trying to hotwire the car. And here's Peyton. There we go. Peyton is done. And they're out of there. That's it. They are left for dead. In the old school 04 cell phone. He got bit during the church, I believe, Peyton. Or the cemetery. Peyton got bit, so he got shot by Nemi, then turned. And here's LJ. Actually sticking the rocket launcher down the garbage. Yeah. Just to get the extra kill. Just to get that extra little explosion that didn't... Well, that probably should have killed Alice, but didn't kill Alice. And here we go. We're at the school. Kamame with the 99 cents, man. Thank you, Kamame. Kamame's on the board with 3 donos. Thank you so much, brother. I'll drink to that one. The hot dog. But see, I feel like the real Jill wouldn't let them split up like that, because that's just like what you don't do. But very, very poor judgment call, I would suppose. James Wan as director. Well, yeah, Romero is still around. He did write the old script, though, but some people are a fan of that and some people aren't. Every time Jill does something, Alice comes in and does a 10 times better job. Is the gag. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Brandon, for a different Brandon, a new Brandon who just subscribed. Thank you. Yeah, that was something that me and John talked about in the review. Jill's constantly one-upped. I see you, mother. There we go. In the extended cut, he's like, Elvis! But that's cut out in this version. That's so funny. He's like, Elvis! As soon as he sees Carlos. So fucking funny. But they cut that out. I'm telling you, get the extended cut on the 4K. This box set is always on sale, but if you can find it, watch that. It might be on a different Blu-ray, but I know that the extended cut was kind of like an exclusive to that 4K. The little kid blood hands, pretty cool. The kid zombies was cool to see. Something you didn't see in the game, so I did kind of like this. Still watching the movie? Yes, we are 51 minutes and 35 seconds in. We're pretty much halfway there. Ashford's fate in the movie is brutal in every sense of the word. And there we go. Bit. And news reporter's dead. By the kid zombies. That's what happens when you split up. They frank for 99 cents. Where? You can't help her. And here's Angie. Jill does secure the package, though. I'll give her that. Even though Alice kind of steals the thunder in the kitchen here with the dogs coming up. And the Cerberus. Nikolai. This is Nikolai's end. I've got this bitch. Damn. More puppies. Yep, this came out right when, right before RE4, and when Outbreak was around. There's an ad in this DVD because this DVD came out after RE4, but the theatrical was before RE4. Outbreak came out March 30th, 2004. This came out in September of 2004, so. And here we go. Boom! Right in the fucking head. I felt like this one ACR had a little bit more of a budget. But they both had pretty good budgets. And the match goes out. And of course we have Alice to the rescue. The budget for this was $45 million. And the budget for the first one was $33 million. So technically it had a bit bigger budget. But they both had pretty, I mean, that's still pretty pretty big for what they needed to do for Resident Evil. Alice gets the one up. The zombie dogs in these first two films look pretty good, man. For sure. They're all infected. Alice and Angie. There's the antivirus. Here's the backstory. She was sick. And he created the T-virus. His work. But it's just not, it just doesn't hold like a lot of weight in terms of like that's why it happened, but like we don't have the full origin umbrella story that was in the games. Damn. Dickhead. He said, "What the?" Hanging with you and shit. Hanging with Elvis. No. Might I speak to my daughter now? Yeah, I mean they try to do their own thing within trying to, pull from, at least from these first two movies, somewhat they pulled from the games. I think after this is when they really started to run in their own direction while peppering in little greatest hits moments or bosses from the series. And Mr. Kane finds him out. Yeah, she stole Carlos too. Exactly, Jen. Alice stole a lot. He's like, God damn it. How Resident movies capture the atmosphere of the games most, to me, Resident Evil first movie 2002 has the feeling of RE2 game gave us. Well, some people like that whole, the hive. You have the cable car, or like the train. So they have stuff like that that are nods to that, and of course you have the liquor and stuff. But um, it kind of was more of just like an isolated hive film that kind of shows the beginnings of everything, which I kind of like, at least in this universe, because obviously it doesn't really line up with the game. But with them trying to do their own thing, they tried to show as much as they could, and then connect this film, right after, make this take place immediately after. If anything, show it, show Alice emerge from the hive after everything got fucked in Raccoon City, which I like. And now we're seeing their escape. Sneaking up on umbrella soldiers and shit, snapping necks. Look at that. I love this right here. This kicks the guard. Just for good measure. And of course, just in time. And here's Alice running down the building for the action shot. Why is there a big ass rope to rappel down this building? Who knows, but who cares? Do. They have no idea. She's like, I can take them. And she does. Boom. It's like Tekken type music playing. Damn. She got him. Smacking him with the nightstick. Oof. Right in the face. Hell yeah. Carlos with the save. This is her flashing back to being on the table. She's like, we don't have time. I'm Mr. Kane. What's the rush? No, never. And now we have the Nemi Showdown. Who is better, Project Alice or Nemesis? We are an hour and 6 minutes in. Hour 6:32. That's fucked that Alice just gets him killed like that. It's like if you just began, he wouldn't have shot him. He wouldn't have shot him. It's Matt versus Alice. I just love the fist fight between Alice and Nemesis. This is so good. It's like the final showdown. Cracking the knuckles. Like, Nemesis is pissed, bro. Get knocked down. The camera work in certain scenes, I know. It's like, it's very fast and, like, very shaky. And now Nemi's got the, he's got the piece of metal. I skipped this scene. Says when he doesn't like the scene Crisis. He doesn't like this. It is a little silly. The camera work in this fight is just as bad as the fights in Batman Begins. Yeah, it's a little jumpy. And here we go. Gonna kick Matt into the spike. BOW versus BOW. She's like, no, I'm hitting Matt. Clueless Matt. There he is. Thank you, Chaos. I'm Nemesising. I'm Nemesising. No. And this is when Nemi goes full on good guy. Which is, you know, obviously out of character, but not when it's Matt. Come on. Come on now. Yeah, I'll take this over Welcome to Raccoon City any day. No, you're supposed to be a clone. But we haven't written that in the script yet. That's still 10 years away. Devin didn't mind this fight. It's not like the worst fight ever. It's just like a fist fight with Nemi. It's just kind of like, okay, you know. But yes, the camera and the editing, very early 2000s. Which Nemesis is a bigger job, or RE3 Remake or Apocalypse? Definitely Apocalypse. Matasis! It's Matasis! No will to use it. Mr. Kane, I'm a waste of a villain. And this is when Nemi goes from heel to face. In this very moment. It's a pretty fast fight for a boss, but yeah, basically. Because now Nemi just gets wrecked with the helicopter coming up here. There's a tank. And here's a missile. Definitely, Leon. This is what we'll ever get to a live action Code Veronica. Yeah, with the running. LJ knocking him out. He gets hit so hard by LJ. It's funny. Yeah, that's a great little punch to the face right there. A well-deserved punch in the face. And here we go. We get the Code Veronica scene. Game franchise is much better than the movie. Absolutely. Definitely. And here we go. We get the Code Veronica gun drop on Alice. Just to throw it in there. Yeah, who knows, man? I think they just wanted to go their own. They wanted their finale to again include Alice and Matt, have that showdown, and instead it's just in this like weird lot building facility thing, nowhere really iconic. And boom, Nemi takes out the rocket launcher. The other one hits, and smack. He's done. And she gets smacked as the missile is launched to neutralize Raccoon City at once. More slow motion zombies. There's Matt. R.I.P. Matt indeed. It's time for the not-so-grand escape. Which I like the fact that they show them crashing, because it would be very much more realistic of them actually crashing. Leave him to get his ass eaten alive. No. Not in the game. Get wrecked. And Mr. Kane is done for. Yeah, after Extinction Chaos, it kind of went downhill anyway, in my opinion, for the live action. Here we go. Sharp ass blade. And Alice takes the L. That's probably what would really happen in real life, obviously, if you're not far enough from that blast. And they definitely weren't in the original either, but this is what they got to do. Arkley Mountains, outskirts of Raccoon City. Nice little shot of a waterfall. And here is Dr. Isaacs. The better villain just because he's a better actor, but he's still not written well in the later films. But this is the main guy right here. I'm the one that's been cloning her from an older lady. That's just one Alice clone, one of many. And it's so easily to change the story. The cover up. Jill and Carlos questioned by police. 3 weeks later, Umbrella Medical Research Facility. Cooking up another Alice for Resident Evil Extinction. And there was a couple more years between this and Extinction. I remember being really excited for Extinction because this one was like, my favorite. And I was like, oh man, can't wait to see Jill back. Can't wait to see. And then Jill didn't come back. Claire was in there. It was more like Day of the Dead. We've been following this character for 6 films, only find out she's been a clone. Yeah, a clone of an older Mila Jovovich. Multiple clones. Oh, Powers. That's the lady from earlier that they took from the house. This is the right project, Alice. Debut scene from the movie. Don't remember which guy, though. Oh, they had someone come down to a Fangoria convention. That's cool. My name. My name. What's her name? Where the zombies can have the storage thing in the desert. Oh, yeah. An extinction. Dr. Isaacs. And I remember everything. About to stab him in the eye, but doesn't, and then punches him. Or elbows him. Throws his ass through the glass. She just eats the taser. Throws it right at the dude. And here's Alice and the Grand Escape. Which the ending between these two films doesn't really make much sense. Also, this doesn't make much sense either. Making this dude's eye holes bleed. She like possesses the camera. This is just over the top. Funny. He's like, like, what is she doing? What is she doing to cause that? What is she fucking like? Some paranormal shit. And then they're just able to get her because now they're disguised as Umbrella. I guess infiltrating as Umbrella soldiers or having to work for Umbrella. They never really explain this. They just say she lost contact with them. And obviously Jill's not in extinction. It's not really explained. I mean, I could tell they're breaking into it, you know, because they're kind of like, oh, yeah, who's authority? But kind of getting her out of there. But then it doesn't really connect very well. And then this whole, like, she doesn't really respond to Jill. Like, what did they do to you? Because they're clearly able to track where Alice is now, as we see in the next film as well. And Dr. Isaacs is about to let them go. There we go. What did they do to you? Doesn't reply, and that's it. He lets them go. And then everything's extinct by the next film. Umbrella satellites. And Killswitch Engage, which is an awesome End of Heartache as the credit song. And I remember this ending and I was like, wow, now we gotta wait for the next one. And that's Resident Evil Apocalypse. My favorite live action film. Plenty of flaws, but a fun B movie, you know, at heart. I'll be waiting. Yeah, this is like this captures the mid 2000s very well. So all these early movies, early to mid 2000s. I think Jill probably was captured by Umbrella and brainwashed. Yeah, I think that's kind of where they were taking that because they didn't really. They kind of showed her at the end of Afterlife, but they kind of implied that she lost contact, and yeah, that's when they put the chip on her and stuff. Try to kind of shoehorn in the Resident Evil 5 crap, you know. I always felt this felt movie between this one and Extinction was needed. There's too much to cover between movies. Yeah, they kind of jumped to it. There's a little Umbrella ad too. Our business is life itself. People are saying that might happen in RE9, but I guess that's because of Village DLC. Yeah, probably. Yeah, they kind of just really make a sharp turn to the next one. Bum, Ron Benjamin. This is it on VHS too. The last one that was on VHS. '04. So I think VHS stopped coming out in the US around '05, I think, '06. Maybe '05. This version of End of Heartache doesn't have the screaming, which I like the screaming one better. Yeah, the movie ended with the outbreak contained. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. I hope. I hope they don't make one off Ethan. Uh, I would probably put them in that order: Afterlife, Retribution, Final Chapter. In terms of like, that's kind of when it went downhill. Are we watching all the movies up to Death Island? You know, I don't know if I'll finish them in time, but I'd like to. Here's Vermilion by Slipknot. I'm still watching the credits here. An hour, yeah, hour 30, and that movie really ended like an hour 28, maybe 27. It's a very very fast movie, which is cool. But yeah, I'd like to do a commentary and talk about do commentaries on the animated films before Death Island. That's something that can happen, you know. Slipknot in credits. Yeah, this is Vermilion. Part 1. I actually need to get the soundtracks on CDs, like the actual music inspired by, not the scores, but RE7 adaptation is Nick Cage's Jack Baker. Yeah, Jack Baker. Played by the Cage Rage. Ty says Nick Cage. Death Island does look pretty crazy. It does look like it's going to be one of my favorites. Over the top action. And us fans of the games kind of know what to expect with those. So, yeah, it started with Kill Switch, End of Heartache. Now it's Vermilion at the moment. It's the credits are still moving. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out too. I just want to shout out the donations while the credits still roll. Cam and May dropping bombs this evening. $50, 20, another 99 cents. Hot dog. Quentin's been a member for 17 months and Jin for 20 months. And all the members that have been hanging out in the chat. Appreciate that too. And hit that like button if you haven't yet. Really appreciate that. Thanks for hanging out for the second live commentary ever that I've done. Dustin crazy, Haven attraction. Nicolas Cage as Albert Wesker. Take it or leave it, says Ty. Won't let this build up inside of me. Death Island, I think it's going to have a shit story, but dope action like Vendetta. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the story just will kind of be what it is at that point. And there's all the logos in the credits as Corey Taylor takes us home. Capcom. There we go. And that is Resident Evil Apocalypse, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you guys for hanging out. Let's see if I can bring all this stuff over here. There we go. You didn't like Vendetta? Yeah, some people didn't like Vendetta. I didn't think it was that bad. You know, I thought it was one of my favorites, and then I went back and I was like, maybe Degeneration's my favorite, but that's why I think doing a commentary will be cool. Yeah, maybe we'll see DLC at the Capcom showcase. Maybe we'll see some Resident Evil stuff. Maybe RE9. Who knows? I know we're going to see Dragon's Dogma, and we're going to see Dragon's Dogma, Exoprimal. I'll pull up what they actually had. They had this whole... It was, let's see. Is Exoprimal, Ghost Trick, Dragon's Dogma, and more. So that and more could be something else. So I will be live on Monday here at 5:30, probably a half hour ahead of time, just to get people in here and we can watch it together. So that's going to be fun. So, and don't worry, an RE Extinction commentary will be coming very soon to continue the summer of RE. So thank you guys. James is here as well to sign off. And really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for all the support. And I will catch you guys in the next live stream commentary or just live stream in general. Take care, guys.